Hey Carly, so what did you want to ask me?
I wanted to ask you, could we go into the past?
Like time travel? You mean like...
Yeah, from Back to the Future.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think we can go into the past because... But I think we can go into the future. But the reason we can't go into the past, I believe, is because there's these things that exist called paradoxes. Like, for example, say you were able to go back in the past and you went back to where your grandparents were and you did something that made your grandparents never meet each other. So if your grandparents never met each other, how could your parents ever be born? And if your parents were never born, how could you be born to go back in time and stop your grandparents from meeting? So it becomes this paradox. So I think the universe has like a built-in safety feature that keeps you from being able to go back in time. But I think we can go forward in time. Do you know how we can achieve that? Take your best guess how we could go forward in time.
Well, I don't really think we could go forward in time because if we go forward in time, then nothing's there because
it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
But see, that's not how you need to look at it. You need to look at it as, and you're not jumping into the future. There's ways of going into the future that are parallel to the present. You're just going like fast forwarding a movie. You're just being fast forwarded. Now, the easiest way of doing that is by going the speed of light. Do you know what the speed of light is?
Yeah.
The speed of light is how fast light travels from one place to another. That's called the speed of light. Now, in the universe, I don't know, have you ever heard on TV something called a light year?
Oh.
A light year, like let's say, sometimes you hear that on Star Trek and stuff. They say like, oh, it's going to take 10 light years. That means it's going to take 10 years traveling at the speed of light to get there. Now, here's the thing. When the closer you get to the speed of light, as soon as you get to like 99.1 or 0.2% of the speed of light, you automatically start traveling through time. So, and you can travel into the future by traveling near the speed of light. Now, how do you do that? How do you go as fast as the speed of light? How would we do that? Do you think we can make a train that can go as fast as the speed of light? I don't think so. Can we make, a spaceship that can go the speed of light?
Well, you should probably follow the directions by Back to the Future. They did 3 ones, and I watched all 3 of them. Trust me. One is Key West, so a train could be it. But
they did have a train in Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, and second, which one was it? I forgot second.
Well, the second one, they just used a car.
Yeah, they just used the car. First one, they used the car, but they attached it to a big building because there was a storm, so the lightning streak would strike that, and it would go down to the car, and the gasoline, because I'm not sure, and let it go. And they would just like, pew.
Well, that's fiction. That's not real. The way they showed time travel is not real. If you really wanted to travel through time, you have to, in my opinion, you have to find a way to get close to traveling at the speed of light. Now, there's 2 ways of doing that. You can either make something like a train or a ship or that has a capability of going that fast. We don't have that technology right now. Or there's another way. Find a natural way to travel at the speed of light. Now there is one thing in the universe that travels at the speed of light. Do you have any idea what that is?
No.
Have you ever heard of a black hole?
Black hole?
It's in the center of every galaxy. There's a black hole, and the black hole is what puts the spin on our galaxy. Now don't get the galaxy confused with our solar system. Our solar system is just a system where the sun There's a sun in the center and orbiting planets around it. That's called the solar system. Now, the solar system is part of a much bigger planetary system called a galaxy. Our galaxy even has a name. It's called the Milky Way. And it spins. It spins like a spiral. And what put that spin on it, almost like a funnel, is that black hole in the center of our galaxy. Now, that's the natural occurring thing that moves at the speed of light. That rotation of the black hole moves at the speed of light. So if you were able to somehow travel to the black hole in the center of our galaxy, around the black hole there's this thing called the event horizon. The event horizon is the area where it's almost like a wave that moves at the speed of light, but you're not close enough to the black hole itself to be sucked in, because the black hole sucks in everything, even light itself. That's why it's black, because it's deprived of light. But if you can take a spaceship and ride that event horizon, which is huge, it's like 2 or 3 light years in width, for even just 2 hours, 2 years on Earth would have gone by. And you wouldn't be skipping into the future. You would just be traveling faster than everybody back on Earth. So you wouldn't even be cheating or traveling into the future per se. You would just be traveling. Time would move faster for you than for everybody else. And therefore you would travel into the future.
Okay. The first thing is that how would you travel back from the future if you're already in? You
can't. If you travel into the future, let's say you did what I just said, you travel to the black hole. By the way, it would be just as hard to travel to the black hole in the center of our galaxy because it's so far. So even that would be a monumental achievement just to travel to it. But if you were able to travel to it, travel back to Earth, everybody you know and love would probably have been dead, depending on how long you spend in that event horizon and how long it takes you to travel to and from the black hole. But in theory, that is how you can go into the future, is with a black hole.
Okay, first thing, I have a couple of questions. If something's in trouble and you're kind of like right now is 2017, the day after July 4th?
Yeah, yesterday was July 4th. Today, yeah. July 5th.
Yeah, today is July 5th.
Right.
Right after I made the video about the pool. Yeah, so what I'm trying to say here is that if today is 2017 and right now time is 11:22, could we go back to the past? Well, not back to the past, but a little bit back? Not back, but like back into like 3 o'clock.
No, I don't think you can. See, there's no difference between going back in time 10 minutes or going back in time 10 years. The effects that you can create by even going back 1 minute can be just as devastating, because you can go back 1 minute and create the paradox. The paradox will be created by changing anything. Like you can even do it by, let's say you go back in time a minute and you go outside to the sidewalk and somebody's walking by and you interrupt them for a minute. So they're walking 5 seconds slower than they were, and that causes them to get hit by a car, which they wouldn't have because you would have never been there to interrupt them. So anything going into the past can just destroy the future. So I don't believe the universe can let you go into the past even 1 second because of that paradox. It's just, in my opinion, it's a safety feature built in, and you can't do it. Sorry.
Okay. The only thing I do not understand at all, like I don't even understand one thing, is in movies I go back from the future, like back to the future, like back to the future.
I think you've been watching Back to the Future too much, Carly. It's not for real. You can't take that for like as like it's real because it's a movie. It's not real. I mean, I know it makes you think and that's what good movies are supposed to do. They're supposed to inspire, your imagination. But the movie itself is not based on fact.
I don't know. I'm not watching Back to the Future. I didn't watch it.
So do you kind of understand a little bit more now how it works?
Yeah, and also, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The black hole. What? Does it seal like when you go to the future? Does it seal?
No, I mean, it's still there. And black holes, by the way, come in all different kinds of shapes and sizes. We can even make our own black holes today. They're just super tiny, microscopic, and you need a particle accelerator to do it. But first of all, it's very dangerous, even if we could create a bigger black hole than a microscopic one, because let's say in a laboratory you created a black hole that was this big. You run the chance of that black hole swallowing everything around it and growing. So, I mean, it's a very dangerous proposition if we could ever build a black hole. Maybe if we built it out in space, that would be a possibility. Like if we found an area deprived of planets that's not too far away, and we could build, an artificial black hole. Although I don't know how big it would have to be for the event horizon to be traveling at the speed of light. So I mean that's for people that know more than me. I just know a little bit, but yeah. You got it?
I totally got it, and also I forgot.
All right, I think that's good. All right, guys. Hope you guys learned something.
Learn something about getting space stuck in your mind.
Yeah, or getting stuck in space. Bye, guys.